You're at Gangrene UK. Join us for episode 35, game review of the Saints on Sunday. So we're going to jump straight in with James and Kane. Kane, how are you feeling following Sunday?
A bit sad after the last game, but hopeful, I guess.
What about you, James?
Yeah, a bit like Kane, just a bit mixed, really. Seems like Sam took a bit of a step back this week, but didn't throw 3 picks or anything crazy like that, so we'll take it.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. It wasn't the game that we thought it was going to be, but a lot of injuries going into it, playing against a solid Saints defense. But I'm not going to give the Saints any credit in this game because they were awful.
Yeah,
awful. In fact, it was woeful because they're meant to be contenders. And nah, I mean, yeah. So, James, do you want to start? Let us know where we're going to start today. Do you want to do defense, offense, special teams? What do you want to talk?
Yeah, I suppose to finish on a positive, so I suppose we'll speak about the offense first. How are you feeling more about? I don't know, just Zach's performance in general. How do you feel about
that? It's mixed, isn't it? Because for me, he's throwing to guys that he's not used to throwing to, or he's not getting a lot of time with. And yeah, they're not on the level of what we're needing. Ty Johnson, I thought, was awful for him in the first half. Zach's numbers, I mean, if you said he was going to throw 200 yards against the Saints, I would have been all right with that, with no picks. But I just feel he's getting very, very stressed when he misses an easy throw, which we need him to get to the point where he can just let it go. But all in all, he's going to have bad games, and he's definitely going to have bad games against defenses that hide looks with players who actually don't have to follow the play call because they know what they're doing and they just hide themselves in coverage and pop up. But yeah, when I've looked at it and I'm thinking to myself, like, when you've got Marshawn Lattimore looking after Denzel Mims, Keelan Cole all game, like, we ain't getting anything through wide receivers. So yeah, it was tough on Zach. He's tough on himself when he comes off. Yeah, it is what it is. What are you thinking, Kane, on it?
Yeah, it was a step backwards, but at the same, it's annoying because he doesn't make the easy throws, and then he makes some crazy throw. Like, he squeezed one into Berrios. I was just talking to James about it on a 4th down, and I don't even know how he made that throw compared to how he floats short pass sometimes, and it's just weird. But yeah, as you said, like, they had so many injuries as well. He's playing with like our 3rd running back, maybe 2nd/3rd string of wide receivers, and
I would even stretch that out.
Yeah,
I mean,
no tight end basically.
Yeah.
Ryan got reps, man. P. Ryan.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a step backwards. I would just say it wasn't a step forwards.
He thinks too much about what he does, I think. He's constantly thinking about it, and he pauses and he doesn't just play. But I did like to see him run. He needs to do more of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was solid, the run.
Yeah. He had 2 runs, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the one that we're talking about is the longer one, wasn't it? Where he did that slide, and I was like, you could have went another 10 yards there. But yeah,
better than getting his head taken off as he was a bit tending to do towards the injury, before the injury. Trying to run into people and whatnot.
And you got to say, like, the first half of the season, how many interceptions he threw per game? and he's dialed that down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think he's near the top of interceptions chart anymore. I mean, some of the big players are on big numbers. Like some of these elite quarterbacks that are getting crazy money are throwing 10s and 13s this year. I think it's just down to the fact that cornerbacks are now equally as athletic as wide receivers, and you've got safeties that are freaks. So, yeah, they're becoming better. So we mentioned the injuries. Let's go into rushing. How did you feel about the run game on Sunday? Ken?
P. Ryan had a couple of good runs. That's it. that's it. Ty Johnson didn't really do much.
Yeah. Where are you sitting on it, James?
Yeah, about the same, really. Just nice to see P. Ryan get some big runs in. I've been a fan since college. He's not been great in the NFL, but he broke some 2 10-yard runs, was it? The rest were a bit stinky, but
Well, his longest was 14.
yeah, I think that was that. And maybe did he catch one and run it for a bit? I don't know. No, he didn't. So I don't know.
Well, he had 7 for 28, so he had 6 for 14, and then a 14. So.
No,
I mean, to be fair, P. Ryan for the first half, I think he averaged half a yard a run.
Yeah.
Because I remember on the game thread kicking off because it was like he was running last year again. I'm going to run behind the centre, and it's like, there's gaps there. We have tackles making holes for you, use them. But he's not that type of runner. Ty Johnson had his worst game in probably 5 years. Yes, he's a running back. His primary job is not catching, but we all know he can catch. He's done some spectacular catching. When he was at college, he caught out the backfield quite successfully and quite a lot. There is no excuse for him switching off the way he switched off, because
it was open field catching as well. Like he was open most of the time as well. It would make sense.
Well, that's my issue with it, because these weren't drops under distress. These were drops that, they were slightly behind, but it's football. They never come straight to your numbers every time. But then when it went to his numbers, he dropped it.
Yeah, I was about to say 1 or 2 were right on him.
Yeah.
Just bumbled it.
Which then, all of a sudden, when you're dropping 3 or 4, your quarterback's getting a bit nervous throwing to you. So we were already thin. Then we got thinner.
Yeah.
It didn't help that Walter was sick, which it would have been nice to have a third just to be fair, they didn't get tired because they weren't on the field long enough. And I think that was our issue. I'm pretty sure 78, 80-ish running rush yards.
Yeah.
Like we can't be doing that. Like we have to be more successful. We have to find ways.
Yep.
Passing yards 178. It's not perfect, is it?
Mm-hmm.
But saying that, the Saints only got 141.
Yeah.
And their rushing yards were, I'll find that now,
203. I think I'm seeing it.
Yeah. So it's not, they weren't massively over successful. What about wide receivers? I'm not going to let you steal it because I know you're both waiting to. My man Berrios. You can go now.
Go on, yes.
Is it an option? Anything? DJ Montgomery, 3 for 36. Too bad. Well, apart from that, it was a kind of There wasn't many names on the field, was there? To be honest,
Oh, there wasn't. But then when you look at Ty Johnson's receiving stats, we know he had all them drops, right? And his backfield wasn't great, but he was 4 for 40. So the 4 that he caught were for 10 minimum, right? Imagine if he'd have had another 4. That was a very different game then. And I think that's the one thing that we struggle with as fans of the Jets. We never look at how close we are to actually turning it around, because we held the Saints quite well.
Yeah.
Until the 4th, when we were just knackered. And it wasn't that they did something special or they were better. They were just more refreshed.
Yeah, pounded us on the run all day, I suppose. And you can only hold it off so long, really, can't you?
Yeah. But yeah, I thought wide receiver wise, we knew it was going to be hard. I expected more from some, but Jesus.
With that like just solidifies that Mims is not the one.
Well, I would still, if this week we are going to be short because Elijah was still on IR. Yeah. I would play Mims, right?
I'd play him,
and the first 5 or 6 throws, I would throw them at him
to test him,
to see what he can do, because he was awful. But he did draw. I think he drew a flag, didn't he? Which was the only contribution of the game, other than the 2 penalties he gave away. But he did draw one, but he didn't have a catch.
Wasn't that Keelan Cole?
It might have been Cole. I know it was just a wide receiver that probably won't be here next year. I mean, I like Mims. Mims has got everything that you want in a wide receiver, but
doesn't show it.
Yeah, there's something not clicking, not there with him. So yeah, I can see us cutting him, probably trading him. Somebody will take him, but yeah, Denzel Mims pretty much lost his contract in that game. So unless he steps up, he's done.
Yep.
Before we skip over, we got a kicker, guys.
Can't kick it very far, but
well, how did you feel about Braden Mann kicking off?
It's all right. You did it quite good.
Job.
Yeah, he did the job.
Job.
all I were looking at, right? He was kicking off, and they went straight as a dime, pretty, not really high, but high-ish, and they were going through the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that's fast.
Why is that man not kicking? Like, just let him kick everything.
I was thinking that last week. That guy couldn't kick it. Just let him have a go, mate.
He's now taking kickoffs because Pintero can't kick it far enough.
All right.
Allegedly. Pintero can do everything up to 45-ish. Yep. So then Braden Mann's everything over. I would have them practicing to see if Mann can do it, because he's obviously got the leg. I thought his punting was better this week.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 for 313 yards.
I noticed though, like when he punts, he does it really slow.
Yeah.
Like really slow, like he's being really careful about it.
There's a lot of thought going into it.
I was scared.
Well, his average is 52 yards.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't punting from the best positions this week, so he only got one with inside the 20. But when you're punting from your own 3 to 5, it's going to be hard to get them back.
I think he got 60 into the wind as well.
Yeah.
As we say, because they tried to do it again and he still did a pretty solid one. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints trying to ice a punter and like kick into the wind. I'm not being funny. A punter's job is to kick into the wind. Like, what is the point? That'd be like taking an umbrella to the Superdome. It ain't gonna rain inside, mate. Don't matter.
Yeah,
Like-
Saints are just dead, aren't they? Like,
I mean, yeah.
good, forget
We will,
stuff, like-
in the off season, guys, we will do one just on salary cap, on how not to manage it, and we'll just do a session on the Saints. But yeah, I thought it was definitely poignant to point out that the last 2 weeks, Braden Mann's punting has been a little bit more solid. Is he Pro Bowl? No, he's not yet. But we know he can be.
Hmm.
So I'm not writing him off. And yeah, hopefully Pintero can do it for the next 5-6 weeks, and we can develop from there. Yeah, we've just got to shout out Berrios again, because let's face it, he is the bright spark. His return yards in total were 183-ish.
It's like a Pro Bowl returner to me, but you know.
Well, if he doesn't make the Pro Bowl, there's something disgusting going on, because he is the average leader on punts and average leader on kickoffs.
There you go.
And I mean, he got a long the other day, 42 yards.
He's electric with the ball, man.
Well, he's only, I think, so far, every time he's run it out this season, he's only got less than 25 3 times. So every time he chooses to run, we do better out of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yep.
So moving on to defense, Kane, it's over to you. You can direct us on this. Where are you taking us on defense?
No run stop. Okay coverage, and better linebacker play than last week, I think.
I would agree. And yeah, definitely agree.
The run stop's the main thing that needs to be fixed.
How do you think we'll fix it?
Don't know. Linebacker maybe to help support.
What about you, James?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can completely agree. The run stop's been anything but like just dreadful all year, and I think we all thought DT was our best position on defense. Really got a lot of depth, but it's just not really performed this year, and it's making some of these DTs look pretty interesting. But I know people probably aren't interested in that. But.
So I was thinking this last week after we did our video, and obviously we have a chat off air afterwards and before and everything. I totally forgot. This year's the first year we've played 4-3.
Yep.
So this is the first year that Quinnen Williams has played in a 4-3. So he's never had a tackle next to him. He's always been the only tackle with 2 ends. That's got to be a massive adjustment. Like, is he trying to like take up too much? Is he like, I don't even know. But I was like, that has got to play an issue. And is it something that, again, not by choice, but that we've neglected maybe a little bit in thinking about? Because, yeah, we've got some elite DTs. We've also got some rookie DTs that probably aren't up there yet. Now, they can all play the position. I mean, I don't have all the stats, but Fatukasi, 5 tackles, 4 assisted. Rankins 4-1. Franklin Myers will count him in it, 3-2, and then 3-1 for Quinnen. Shaq Lawson 3-1 and half a sack. And then Phillips 3-1 and 1 for a sack as well. So the guys are getting through, but Phillips, Williams, Fatukasi have never played in the NFL in a 4-3. And that'll probably go from Marshall as well. And then Nathan Shepard as well. So most of them were either drafted by the Jets or free agents from the Jets that started their career with us in a 3-4, and then we've swapped.
I mean, you don't know if it's like not having edge pressure that doesn't allow the D tackles to contain. I don't know, stop them.
Just what a lot of what I was seeing on Sunday. I know it's Kamara and Taysom Hill who were great runners, to be fair, but just getting pushed back quite a lot. There was holes all day. I think was the main issue.
Mm.
They did slow it down a lot in like the second quarter, and it kind of over the second half, they kind of just pounded us down. But yeah, it's just not been a highlight really. So I'd like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I've just switched over onto their rushing yards. And Kamara, yeah, he got 120, but they ran him 27 times. So his average is actually only 4.4.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill, obviously, he had the 44-yarder, so his average is screwed up anyway. But he ran 11 times for 73, but 44 of them were one of them. So actually, we held him to probably 4 yards a carry as well.
Mm.
And then Jones Jr., 6 for 10 yards, 1.7. So we're only allowing the 4 yard, which isn't horrendous. Obviously, it's not ideal because you get 3 of them and you get your first down, which was what was happening to us.
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit unfair to criticise because we weren't moving the chains. We were having quite short drives, so they can only stay on the field for so long and put up a fight against that. Really.
I think we're just not used to seeing us not being able to stop the run because usually that's what we're known for. That's what we're best at. But
yeah, it's a great point to be fair.
So in the first quarter, we had the ball for just under 4 minutes.
Mm. Yeah.
Which is awful. And then in the second, we had it for 4 minutes. Oh, sorry, no, I'll give that back. 8 minutes.
Huh?
We had an extra play. In the third, 3:07, 4 minutes. And then in the fourth, we did all right in the fourth. We had 4 minutes. Oh, no, sorry. I'll add that on. We had 5.5 minutes. So we had 20 minutes across the whole game. That to me, I can understand why the defense let 17 points in the fourth quarter.
they're just grounded.
Yeah, ground down. I mean, the first one, we held them to a field goal. This is my thing. We're not stopping the run all day, but pretty much inside the red zone, nobody's getting through. We're holding.
Mm.
So we do have run stop. We've just got terrible coverage. So when we're in open field with yardage behind where we could get blown up, the linebackers are sitting back and then they're breaking through and then they're getting that time to make the first man miss.
Yeah. They need to stop with the soft coverage as well.
But
Every game.
That's the style of play that we've got because we don't have the proven skill to be able to manage. I mean, we weren't against any elite wide receivers in that game.
Yeah.
We were done at the fact that they had receivers who could do the job, who are fully serviceable, but they also had Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara, who, no matter how you line it up, they could be receivers, they can be running backs, they can be wide out, they can do it all. So you didn't know what was going to happen. But I'm looking like to hold them to a field goal in the first. I mean, and then tie it up, hold them again, and then the touchdown that they got was meh, and it was meh. They had the ball for 3 minutes, played 6 plays, went 54 yards and got 4 first downs. We were failing to get first downs.
Yeah.
It came back to bite us. All it would have took is a couple of yards on each play, just extend it that little bit more. But look at the ones that we were talking about with Mims.
Yep.
Those two flags, we'd move them chains. We were forward, and he knocks us back. Do you have how many penalties we got? Oh,
Yeah.
5.
5 to 45.
You just can't fight that, right? But the positives out of it, guys. No turnovers. That one that they tried to claim was a turnover, I swear to God, literally nearly jumped off the sofa and like decked the TV. We almost matched them play for play, which I don't know how that's possible because they had the ball so much longer.
Crazy.
Like 62 plays to 68 plays. All in all, we found out that our secondary is slim. Our D-line is adjusting. Could probably maybe do with a bit more adjusting. I think the offensive line were on average.
I thought they played quite good, to be honest.
They opened up routes that if we'd have had a running back, we'd have been sorted.
They protected that quite well as well. Gave him time.
Yeah. Just nobody can give you time when you don't have wide receivers that can get open.
Yeah.
Anybody got any summaries on positives? Because I know I can put a positive spin on a bad game.
Just that we were competitive with so many injuries.
Yeah, for 75% of the game.
Therefore, I think maybe the score doesn't truly reflect it, but I think there was a lot of us at the half in the game, Fred, and definitely in the group. We thought we had a chance at that game. So, definitely got to just extend those drives, make the easy ones, and keep the defense off the field. So,
yeah. So one of the positives I took from it was what I say every week. I'm okay with not winning as long as we don't lose. We didn't lose that game because we were in it till we weren't in it. We were just tired. It wasn't the fact that we did one stupid play and we got beat by one. It was the fact that we were that tired, we could not keep it up. Injuries killed us. Injuries for them. They weren't the team that they should have been. We were probably fortunate that way because that would have been a horrible game to watch. And it wasn't the best anyway. I think we look at it and go, the O-line is actually growing. I know we've seen stats today on our chats with McGovern looking better. Fant looking solid. He got done twice, I think. Which, you can take that over everything he's done this year. AVT is just silent but deadly. The doctor, when he's in, he's making some great holes and routes to run through. And then, Moses is serviceable.
Yeah.
No.
Bit past his time, but he's doing the job, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll do the job for now.
Yeah. Finish
I don't think we're being fair when we blame Zach. I don't think it's fair to blame LaFleur. That wasn't any one person's loss. That was the fact that we are the most injured team. We are the youngest team. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this week. Just thought today that Michael Carter might be back.
When both of them are supposed to be coming back.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take one of them. I'm not greedy.
We need Michael Carter cornerback as well.
Yeah. How are you feeling going into Dolphins week, then, boys?
Go on, James.
Yeah. Just try to deep fry the fish, hopefully. they're going on a bit of a win streak now, and the tours look pretty good, very accurate with the ball. So I don't know, it'd be a nice little cherry on this season if we could. I suppose it'd wipe them out from contention if we beat them, maybe. So
yeah, it would be nice. Do you know what though? I think I'd rather save a win to beat the Bills, because I think it's 3 teams get a win this week, and they could all win because they're all playing lower level teams. And the Bills lose one more game, the Bills won't make the playoffs. Which that would make my week. Like, but going into Dolphins, I'm what I always am. I'm quietly optimistic. I think we're going to do okay. You convinced yet, Kane?
If we can contain Gesicki, because I think he tore us apart last game with the safeties.
Is he back? Because I know he was questionable.
Hopefully he's still questionable. and Waddle. And then I don't think they have much more, to be honest. I think we played quite good against them on offense last time, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah, so, I mean, it wasn't a terrible game. It just wasn't what we wanted, was it? So
it'd be nice to get a win this week and next week to knock them both out.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 4 games left. Technically, we should have 2 wins at minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the biggest game of the season is Christmas week.
Yeah, Boxing Day, Jags.
Mate, honestly, that game chat, even though it's Boxing Day, is going to go off. I mean, can we do Jesus earlier than Easter? I mean, I'm up for it.
No.
Yeah, I think Kane's dead right. We've just got to control Tua, Waddle, and Gesicki, which sounds easier than what it probably actually will be. But we'll all be there. We'll be watching. Hopefully, you'll be watching too, guys. We're going to sign off. As always, give us a share, a like, a follow, do all the buttons, comment. James will reply back. And join us next time. We'll see you soon. Cheers.